I'm good enough.
Oh, right. Because I was like, I'm getting ready.
All right. Welcome to the stream. Uh, Hopefully you can't hear me yet, but I'm gonna hear you in a little bit to the other side. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, midweek, Presky, midweek. Turn you down in there. Hit this go button. Check. Mid Wednesday. Damn, I didn't update my IG app. Let's see how it goes. They update that every Wednesday at 7:55. Mrs. Lee, welcome.
What's going on? What's the word?
Here on the Wednesday. Other than that, how's your week so far, bro?
You know, it's weird. I mean, you talked about this. It's always weird when there's a holiday in the middle of the week. You think that, you can have just as good as a time as any other holiday, but it's not the same. Like you're staring at a bottle of wine, but then you also got some emails that you got to answer, and they're gonna want real answers in the morning. So you got to make real life choices, and that's how the week's going, man. How's yours?
Yeah, Saturday felt like Sunday. Yesterday felt like Wednesday. It was weird. It's still weird. I'm trying to catch up, see where everything is. Those emails, I was definitely turning a blind eye to. I kept it moving today. But outside of that, though, it's all right. Kept trying to still fake catch up. You know what I'm saying? But can't complain. But going forward, though, for 4th of July, man, they need to just listen. It's okay to acknowledge the day, but as far as celebration, I think it's time to move it to either these Friday, Saturday. We'll take Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Once they give us Monday and respectfully. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday combo for the 4th, it just throws everything off, bro. Nobody wants to be
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm right there with you. It definitely felt like a Friday, but it was a Wednesday. And then tomorrow, I think tomorrow everybody's just gonna be even more out of sorts. Like, all right, what fucking day is it? What are we doing right now? Like, it's all over the place, man. Yeah, for sure.
But outside of that, though, what else? What did you actually do anything for the 4th? Any fireworks? Any fresh shit?
I mean, everybody else around us did fireworks. We just kind of like either looked in the front yard and the backyard, seeing who was letting the fireworks go and all that. But no, it was mad home, mad local with it. You?
With the rain, the thunder every so often on and off. If you live out in New York City, you know what I'm saying? It was just, you're scared to get fresh. You're scared to really step out. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't know the weather was going to treat you shit. You know what I'm saying? But about 7:30 to about 11:30, it was just a gun show outside. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, guard your ears if you can't take it. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be like this for at least another 90 minutes. So they're like, it's so loud. I'm like, yeah. Support, and a lot of those ain't fireworks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hopefully everybody made it home safely. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't, prayers to you to get home safely. But, it was just a loud evening, but I ain't step out. I think I took out the trash. That was about it. I ain't do nothing. Not at all. Nothing at all.
Yeah.
Real quiet.
hmm Yeah, man. That's how it be these days, man. I ain't even mad at you. Man.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, man. Listen, it is July, man. First couple of days, I think it was. We had an event last week, and it was a mental health awareness session. Really, just to sit down as black men because we don't really talk about mental health as much as we should do, right? And we had a gentleman that facilitated the session, and he let us all know that there is actually something that is called BIPOC mental health awareness, and it's me and you have been finding out about all these awarenesses so much over the last, like, what are
Facts.
we at, 2.5 years now. But
Word.
this one, when I really did the research of it, it really focuses in on why within underrepresented communities that we don't really focus enough on mental health and the impact that that has on our people. And he was throwing out some numbers that the likelihood of young black males to commit suicide, it has increased more than young white males. When he said that to us, that truly threw us, for a loop. And he kind of just threw a question around to everybody, just for what perception do you have? What do you think is possibly driving these young kids to want to take their lives?
Pressure. Social, not that social media is a big blame of it, but it's funny. It feels like it's shifted from the whole hip hop, bad music, rock music vibes to more so just social media and the digestion of it. It's just too much to intake when you're that young. Like, and everybody's showing their perfect version of them that flashes throughout the day. But when you got 1,000 friends, you see everybody's perfect moment throughout the day. You be like, damn, I ain't do nothing today. And I mean, it gets to you a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're kind of consumed in it, where it kind of not that it takes up a lot of your day, but any free time you do have, if you are dedicating your time to that, you know what I'm saying? Counting the likes, making sure everybody gets a reply and a response, and trying to get stuff back, it can be an empty void that you can never really fill out. And
Yeah,
just that pressure of not, feeling like you're failing when you're really not. You're just taking your time like everybody else in the world is doing as well. It's just got better cameras than you. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, no, yeah.
you recognize that, I think the better it'd be. But I think a lot of pressure from social media. Nah, I won't say friends and family, but just people you don't even know. And trying to keep up with a time that's just not their time yet, and it's killing people with that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. When you get a chance, check the comments on StreamYard. But I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I think social media is a big pressure point for kids. I think also the fact that when we were young, you would play, you would go to school, and everything would be cool. You'd be chilling, and you could come home and nobody would be there to like follow you home with the stressors and the pressures of being outside or being at school. Now you have, like you said, you have social media, you have phones. Literally, people can invade your privacy, invade your sanity just by the handheld devices that you have in your hand. You know what I mean? And there's literally no escape for these kids, and it's a lot, man. I think we just have to really keep a strong village around them. One of the gentlemen at the session recommended this. It's not one person that's going to make sure that these kids can be as safe as possible. Your
Mm-hmm.
families, your friends, all the close people that actually care about your kids, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should just be working in tandem to make sure they're okay.
Did he give any other tips and clues on what your immediate circle could be doing to, if you kind of got somebody on the cusp of that, or somebody you thinking might be on that route to self harm?
Along the lines of the same thing with the village and keeping a tight network, therapy, man, and keeping open and honest communication. I mean, there's really, I don't even think there's a legitimate like reason for not going to therapy if you feel like your kids have had a traumatic experience and they really just need to express themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was along those lines.
It just said the culture has changed. Though the new culture is the celebration of death and acceptance, it's either kill or take one take oneself out. Sad but true. Just called it. Um, like you miss. It's a funny thing as far as adapting to that because you miss when you were young. You went out no phone and stuff, and parents didn't. Not that they didn't follow up on you or care enough, or they let you live as well. You know what I mean? So you was able to go outside, go around the corner, go a couple blocks, go a mile or two on foot, come back home before the street lights came on. Uh, Today, though, as parents, like I wouldn't even fake allow the "can I go outside" question. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, for what? Where you going? What was? I need a lot more detail than you giving me already. And you know what I mean? It's weird. So, granted, it's a worse world. It's a better world, but in ways that us being more informed, we feel like we know more, and we feel the possibility of more things happening is more likely. When it probably is about the same numbers as it was back then. But
Right.
everybody's informed, so they're just scared to do it.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's tough. It is really, really tough, man. But we'll continue to be there for the kids, man, and we can just pray that we give them the best example so they can have the best life.
Absolutely, absolutely. I gotta look into that though, for the BIPOC, the BIPOC. I learn something every week with the cast. Every week, I swear to God, I do. That's what's up.
Definitely. And for those who do not know what BIPOC means, it is Black, Indigenous, and people of color. So one less thing you got Google.
Today.
Yeah.
Oh man, what's this? The glitch jump.
So listen, I was texting somebody the other day, man, and I tell you one thing about this podcast, it always has me thinking about random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the way the word was looking looked like trash. It looked like I had no kind of English, no real wording, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was just wondering if one day what happens if your spell check stops working? Like there's a glitch in the matrix, and it's one of those days where you're just speeding through a very important email and you're counting on Outlook to hold you down. You know what I'm saying? Outlook has been clutched from having you sounding like you ain't got no kind of grammar, you ain't got no kind of whatever. Imagine one day if there's a glitch in the spell check, brother. First of all, the first question is, would you even notice?
Like some words I know I can't spell on purpose, so I get the first 4 or 5 in there, and I see my options and I weigh them. You know what I'm saying? But if there was no spell check, oh man, I would have to. If it was an important text, I might be by a computer just to make sure I hit. You know what I mean? Well, you got the phone, so I'll be jumping in and out of tabs, making sure this word is right on Google before I come back over here. But I remember the I before your E's and stuff when after C's and shit like that. But outside of that, my spell check was off. I'd be sending a lot of voice memos. So, I can't afford to look stupid out here. A lot of voice memos is coming out. Like, is this it? I don't think it's just 22 seconds long. I ain't listening to this shit. You know what I mean? But I can't do it. Can't do it. She said, Tanya, she started. She said, I'll be fine. I does this English thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, man. It definitely be voice memos. But I don't know if I would notice. Like sometimes I just be like racing through my emails, man, and Outlook just be like, "Hey, man, move that C over," and be like, "Oh, okay, my bad." He's like, "Hey, man, you forgot an I. Like, get it together." It's like, all right. I still feel like I spelled congratulations wrong. Like I kid you not. Every time I spell congratulations, business, I think I'm saying busyness. Like this shit bothers me, people, every single day. And I'm telling you, when I say I send emails every day, I send emails every day. And I still feel like I'm writing the wrong shit, but whatever.
Yeah, business is one of those words I look at twice.
Yeah.
Shit, Wednesday sometimes I still look at twice. Like you know what I'm saying, just to be like, yeah, where's that end? Oh, there it goes, right where it should be. Yeah, some things I truly hope Google saves me. On Outlook, though, when you send the emails, they have the ads, comments, or little apostrophes that you just truly disagree with. It's like, no, I'm ignoring this.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't need that comma there right now. Like, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I be trying to spell like insurance payers, and I'm like, no, I don't want a space between health first. It's health first.
Yeah,
Like, how dare you tell me what I'm sending? You know what I mean? But yeah,
inconvenience. Inconvenience. That's a little tricky. She might have spelled it wrong right there. I can't even tell her.
Yo, listen, the world, the professional world would be in disarray. But then there's the beautiful people out there who don't give a fuck about spell check. They just send whatever they want to send, but we still love you. You know who you are.
Yeah. Keep doing what y'all do. Keep doing what y'all do.
Trust me, there's a group chat within the group chat about your messages that don't make sense.
Every time, every time. And honestly, deep down inside, I hope my group chats don't have a separate one without me. I know they do, but I really hope they don't. You know what I'm saying? I really hope they don't, man. I really hope they don't.
Hell yeah. So this is a quick check-in, man. We got a couple people with us. What's up, Tanya, Sylvia, Cece in the building, Only Mrs. Lee. We got Evie, SKL. Appreciate y'all coming in.
I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. For the 8:30 time too. Ooh, man.
Yeah.
Let's stop. Let's stop. What was how'd it go? If you know, fuck it. Let's go. Supreme Court. We're gonna switch gears real fast.
Yes,
Affirmative action made a lot of guidelines over the last week, so to speak. It feels like it's helping, but why does it feel like it's also not at the same time?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
It feels like the self-discrimination thing that they not self-discrimination, the affirmative action initiatives that they passed this week. It feels like it's supposed to help, but it's not. Why is that?
I mean, because they eliminated it. Like literally, the ruling that they passed last week, and I'll just read it from here. It's declaring. It struck down affirmative action in college admissions, declaring race cannot be a factor, and it forces institutions of higher education to look for new ways to achieve diverse student bodies. Now, we're not going to go too deep into history here. You all can do your research on affirmative action. Some of you probably already know what it is. Well, what this has been under attack actually for a while now. Like it's been in Texas and I want to say maybe Florida, that they already started removing race from education. So when this made it to Supreme Court, it was just literally to the point where they were trying to say that what we're doing is we are muddying the waters of education and using whatever it is from affirmative action to now have a diverse body of students, and they want to remove that. Now, the issue with that is immediately when they struck it down, it was like, okay, so what are you going to do about the legacies, right? My dad, my mom went here, and now I'm getting in because I'm a legacy, So literally right after the ruling was passed last Thursday, this small civil rights group named Chica, don't ask me what they stands for, but they filed a lawsuit to challenge the legacies now. Now the funny thing, so now the funny thing that I learned is California is the only state that requires you to disclose how many people that you enroll due to legacy. So you have all these other colleges that are skating by, like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Your father went here, you're good, and they're letting those people in. This is the first step towards really trying to look at how race has really created equitable pathways. It's scary.
Interesting. I did read a lot that it ended up hurting the white female a lot more as far as admissions and going into college. And no one really explained why. I don't know if you happen to come across that in your research over the topic of the week.
Hurting the white female?
Yeah. Because not that they seem to be the most advantaged from the laws that were in play until they removed or struck those laws out. But no one ever really explained why to me as to why they would benefit or wouldn't benefit from it as much as they used to anymore with that being gone. I was hoping somebody here at least know about it, came across it, but it just threw me off a bit when I heard it the other day.
Yeah, because to strike down affirmative action and it impact a white woman, yeah, I'd be very interested to know how too.
Yeah,
that's interesting. So not to skate over that because that's a very big one that has big implications. Right now, big business is safe, but that's next, right? They're going to start looking at diversity hires. They're going to really start to narrow down all of this stuff. You're going to really start to see now the organizations that really care about diversity because they're already working on how they're going to change up the wording, not use race, but you could try and look at other words like disenfranchised, anything like that. But another ruling came out where there was a lady in Colorado who's a web designer, and
Mhm.
she had refused to provide her services to a same-sex couple, and the
Yes.
Supreme Court also ruled in favor for her. So with that, I mean, you can read
It's
between the
coming.
lines.
Yeah, it's coming.
That
You can tell the pause.
officially sends the message that you can now discriminate against LGBTQ plus as far as being a business, man. When you hear stuff like that, brother, what do you think?
Like it's weird because it was progressing for some time, and not that I was for or against it, more for than against. Of course, nobody wants to see any sort of class or uh, wave point discriminated against, but it felt like they was on a trajectory to keep getting better and better, and this was just sort of like a kick in the dick. No pun intended. But it's a weird two-step back in the whole way of things going, where most it's weird if they would have been a bigger uproar for the couple looking to get those services, like the lady would have been canceled by now. She would have been off, business would have been ruined, name would have been tarnished, and everybody would have been like, wow, the power they have is crazy. And I was almost expecting that. But when it kind of reversed as far as the court backing them, everybody kind of had to hide their picket signs that they usually do when someone kind of disrespects, so to speak. You know what I mean? So, with, with if you aren't allowed to fight for the cause anymore because the rulings against you, I don't know what's next now. Like, that's kind of confusing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's a slippery slope, man, because if now we are going to use our ideologies as our right to not provide services, that can get deep. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That can get deep. It's amazing. Tanya said no one asked her to make anything, from my understanding. Okay.
Make a cake. Make a cake from that. Oh yeah, there we go. A cake. Yeah, it was weird. It was this big uproar, and then the people that this was against came out after the fact says we never asked for the services. I'm not sure why this is a thing, but that kind of went under the rug, and then the main topic kept running with no longer having an accuser. So it was
Yeah.
weird. But social media, people get tidbits of stuff and just run with it. I'm guilty, but
Yeah, I mean the tough part about it is like when Supreme Court rules on something like that at that level, that just
yeah.
sends that empowers a lot of those microaggressions that are out there, man, and this can get very, very, it can get ugly if it isn't already.
Um, yeah, I would hate to. I don't know. I don't think. Hopefully, as far as my field, even if businesses are starting to so they have the authority to discriminate towards it. I would truly hate for the qualified person who happens to, have a different way of life not get the gig over somebody who wasn't as qualified just because they fit the norm. I'd be highly upset about that, honestly. But I don't think I really in my field. I'm pretty sure that we could. We're working towards just making sure the best person gets the job. Period. And that is something I could definitely stand on with that because we hire all walks of life. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
but I just hope everybody else tries to get that mind frame because the best person gets a job. Period, regardless of what you do outside. Doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, it's just some states where it's tough, man. Like I have friends that just came back from Tennessee, and out there things have gotten really rough, especially for the trans community. I mean, it is ugly out there, man. I'm glad at least for your field or your company is going good,
Mm-hmm.
but it is not looking good across the country right now.
Yeah, I got a straw, a piece of hay in the hayfield as far as what's really happening outside. But
Mm.
uh, question: how often? I know with the student loan forgiveness plan getting voted against this time last year, um, Roe versus Wade also got overturned. Like, what the hell are they gonna do next year this time?
I mean, they're coming for everything. You know what I mean? There's a lot of conspiracies about what this really is about, and for the sake of us not getting reported, probably stay away from those
Yeah.
conspiracy theories. But you think about it, you do the math, right? Like, we black people, we are outnumbered a lot of these other ethnicities, and then if you look at just underrepresented communities. Like who's the ones that are really out there working, supporting a lot of these Fortune 500 companies, man. And if you think about not allowing people to have abortions, I mean, we talked about this already, right? We have no
Right.
right to tell a woman what to do with her body,
Mm-hmm.
but this they're just trying to they're trying to even the numbers up. That's the only thing I can think of, and the only way you can even the numbers up is by not letting nobody abort no
Like,
babies. And then the other piece of it is, well, let's stop educating them, right? This goes back now. We just celebrated Juneteenth.
yep.
And this goes back to educating ourselves, right? Financial literacy. How do we generate wealth? You take away the ability for us to learn, that hurts us as well in the future, right? Not anybody right now who has the knowledge and is spreading it, but any young person right now who is really looking towards these equitable pathway programs that were based on race, that were about to get into college, that were about to get into a specific program for their trade, this now hurts them. So
Facts.
it's just an all-out attack on everything that's for diversity, so that a specific set of people can feel like they can get back in power, if you ask me.
Mm. It's always a bigger play at hand. One that we can't see, one that's usually hidden behind somebody's hand, but it's always a bigger play.
Yeah,
It's always good to kind of see the landscape from a bird's eye view to kind of see what the next 12, 18, 24 months got ahead, man. But it's scary. Definitely scary.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
what else is that? I think that was it on the Supreme Court stuff. Just praying. Just praying for people. Like Cheryl said it the best. Like, it's a shame. But
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. How often you use Twitter, though? Sidebar.
Sparingly, I mean, just for like FCP business, or maybe if I want to like put an inspirational quote or something.
Oh, gotcha. Me personally, like it's my new news. Like when I woke up earlier, when I woke up in the morning when I was a kid, it was just the New York one. Catch the weather every 10 minutes, get out of there, come home, catch it 5 o'clock. But now with Twitter, instant access. It's my news thing, so I'm on it more often than not, as far as anything else that I'm not on. But what Elon is doing as of late is he has a Google services bill that's about $1 billion right about now, and like, don't get me wrong, I dodge my little, my Spectrum mobile bill, me from time to time. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't got the 25 today. I see you next week. You know what I'm saying? But dodging $1 billion bill when you own like a whole car company and just have other things going for you. It's not like you don't have it, but it's like, yeah, if I give it to you, then I ain't got it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
on that mind frame. So to try to limit his amount of usage on the cloud, he I guess initiated a new cap, so to speak, where verified users are able to I guess view 6,000 tweets a day, unverified is 600, and newly unverified is 300. Like me, I believe I'm pretty sure I'm not verified, so I don't think I'm surpassing 600, but I'll be highly upset if I was having a good Twitter day and something was super funny, and what I mean, you
Hmm.
refresh one or too many times and you reach your max limit, and it's only like 5:30 p.m. and the shit's getting juicy. Like, it's like, what do you do? Like, can he? How is this helping or hurting the app? More so, sure.
I'm still lost at what he's trying to do. You know what I mean? And this just shows you how either there's some ridiculous power play behind this to propel another app, or he's just literally out here to show that if you're rich enough, you can do whatever you want. Um, but honestly, yeah, but honestly, to me, I mean, if they want to put a cap on the unverified, I mean, that's the ones that support the app the most, because
Sure.
they're the ones engaging in the in the tweets.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then I get it, right? You have over a billion users, I'm assuming, or a million, 100 million on the site. Who cares, right?
Right.
I don't know.
But I'm just yeah, like you said, I don't get his gameplay. Like, what's the next step? Like, what? I assume he's moving more towards gearing people towards subscribing, where they got to pay this monthly fee. You get an unlimited amount of tweets, whatever the case may be, throughout the month. But if this is another money grab for the people, it's funny. The rich, he always finds a way, but it's funny when whoever does it. You know what I mean? It's weird, super weird.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I can't get my edit thing up, man, with with those two photos for some reason. I don't know, it's because I'm in the middle of a stream, but that's annoying. This other item here, man. The main topic of this evening, man. Ready to dive into it? Is it time yet? Because I was uninformed until about a week ago. Just for everybody here, I'm getting into the topic on the issue of gaslighting. For those that don't know the the Urban Dictionary definition is a form of intimidation or psychological abuse, sometimes called ambient abuse, where false information is presented to the victim, making them doubt their own memory, perception, and quite often their sanity. I read that. I was like, nah, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought I had an idea of what it meant, more so like, kind of just gassing somebody up, giving you the perception that something's bigger than what it is. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I always just assume that to kind of be like fake bragging, so to speak, right? So it goes on. I read the classic example. It goes, gaslighting is to switch something around on someone that you know they're sure to notice, but then deny knowing anything about it. And then just say, yo, you're imagining shit. When I heard that part of it, like an example, I was like, wait a minute. I don't think I do that consciously, but I was informed that I do this often. And now I'm here to ask you, as a gaslighter that has not come out the closet, do you gaslight?
So I want to back it up for a bit, man, because one of the best things you can do with a subject like this is just ask people what do they consider gaslighting, right? You've given a definition and you've given an example, but when I think of gaslighting, it's more so if I'm trying to express my feelings about something, you validating exactly what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And to your example that you're using, right? The instant self-defense against the statement that I'm making as far as my feelings can be considered gaslighting. Now, I don't know if any of us are completely removed from gaslighting, but I'll only refer to myself. Yeah, I've gaslit before, because not in every exchange is the first thing that I'm doing. I'm thinking about the other person's feelings, and
Mm-hmm.
depending on, and I have to work on that. But am I a gaslighter? Definitely, definitely. But I just want everybody to understand that it's important that they really dive into what they consider to be gaslighting, because I don't want anybody going out there and you're telling a complete false story, and then someone's trying to tell you the truth, and then you're thinking you're gaslighting me. That is not what gaslighting is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there has to be some validity behind what you're saying, and that
Correct.
person is challenging you for it to be gaslighting. But go ahead, bro.
Like in my head, the whole gaslighting situation is more so you're doing it intentionally in order to get a certain result out of something. A lot of I think what I do, unfortunately, is I have the best intentions of the situation. I give my best outcome on what should be happening, but I may not make all the proper steps on my side to get to that end goal, right? So, like little thing, my daughter the other day, Dad, can we go? Let's go to McDonald's. All right, let's go to McDonald's. So, I'm like, you really want McDonald's? She's like, yeah. I'm like, you sure? She's like, yeah. It's like, we had McDonald's yesterday. Are you sure you want to do? She's like, yeah. All right, let's go to McDonald's. So, 5 minutes go by. She turns the TV on. I say, you want something to eat? She goes, yeah. Let me get some chips. I'm like, yeah. Get some chips. 5 minutes go by. I'm like, you want some juice, baby? Yeah. Give her some juice. I'm like, hey, baby, let's make some mac and cheese. You want some? Oh, okay, I'll take some mac and cheese. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, looking at this whole thing in hindsight, like, I knew we weren't going to McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but like, was that wrong? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what kind of threw me off. I'm like, damn, I do that. I don't do that a lot, but I'm just trying to appease for the moment with the ultimate outcome, and that by definition is gaslighting. And it kind of fucked me up because I didn't like when I was brought to the light, like, yo, man, you gaslighting. I'm like, no, I'm not. It gave me the definition and examples. I'm like, I kind of held my chest, like, damn. I'm like, that's me. Like, you know, what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't ready for that. Like, it was weird. It threw me off. Um, everybody does it. I don't say consciously or subconsciously, but I think everybody does it to some form of capacity throughout their weekly, just travels and conversations.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if if for anybody who's with us right now or listening to this later, it'd be interesting, right? Because the so what any like DEI trainer would tell you is, why didn't you just tell her you don't want to go to McDonald's? You know what I mean? Like, just really reveal what the
Mm-hmm.
real end game is for you, instead of
Mm-hmm.
trying to, manipulate the situation into a place where, all right, let me get them to think about everything but McDonald's, so we don't no longer have to go to McDonald's anymore. So
That's
to
all.
to so to everything that you just said, I think so this is where I want everybody to be able to separate the unconscious versus the conscious, like Kenny said, right? What he's giving is a very typical everyday unconscious situation, right? Now there's the conscious situations where we see people who are really being manipulated into thinking that their feelings aren't valid. And these
Mm-hmm.
are situations that you probably see some of your friends or family experience that are detrimental to them, right? They're really causing harm, whether it can be for their sexual preference, for their race, for their, it could be domestic issues, but they are in serious situations where gaslighting is present. It is real, and the best thing you can do for that person is get them some sort of support so they can identify these situations when they are being gaslit, and they know how to respond to them versus letting this person manipulate them or this group of people.
I agree. I agree. I truly agree. Um, we've thick admitted to being to gaslighting every so often, not intentionally, but a form of or a layer of it. Do you deal with anyone in your life that you notice that does this like habitually?
Oh, all the time. All the time, man, all the time. um but because I would say lately, because I see all of this work and I'm a part of all these seminars a lot. When it's detrimental to me, I name it, and I've found ways to communicate in a way where hopefully it doesn't make them go into self-defense mode,
Mm-hmm.
because some people are still not ready to hear something, right? Like, if you come on the Zoom and I have a hoodie on because it's cold, and you say, oh man, if I saw you in the alley, I'd be nervous. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a microaggression there, buddy. I feel like you're gaslighting me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if they say, "Oh, what do you mean? I'm not racist," or "What do you mean? I didn't mean it that way. It was just a joke." These are typical lines that you'll hear someone say while they are gaslighting you. It was just a joke. I didn't mean it that way. Why are you so sensitive?
Yeah. Yeah.
Words like that, and these are triggering words, right? Because it may take some of you to when you were kids, especially as us black males, right? We could never express our feelings because most of the males in our life at that time, the grown males, would have been like, "You too sensitive." That's literally gaslighting. And now that we're even talking about the high suicide rate for young black males right now, you can only imagine what they're experiencing when they're trying to express their feelings.
That's a fact. Like, yeah, they keep it hidden. Like, keep not to keep them in the closet, but just more so just don't expose them. Keep them to yourself. You kind of cry in a corner, I guess, if you need to, just to kind of get through it. But it's not
Yeah.
a healthy way to, I guess, let that out. Whether it be through therapy, like you said earlier, or just hoping the village around you is sound enough to notice that, reach out to you personally, and kind of get to a end game to it. You know what I mean? Where you're not thinking about it as often. Um, me being one, and not wanting to be one, what could I do to change this behavior?
Oh, well, I mean, as
I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot. My bad. That was
yeah,
heavy.
no, it's a really good question. Really good question.
Yeah.
Uh, First and foremost, this is my disclaimer. I am not an expert. Do not take what I'm about to say as advice for you to go and practice this on your friends and family, right? So the first thing I could say, just thinking off the top of my head, is just how would you feel being in that situation, right? Like you really want to go somewhere. Like let's use the food example. You have been dying for this food. You want this food, even though you just had it yesterday. You want it again. How would you feel if somebody made you manipulated you so you didn't get it?
That's where I hate to put doubt on anyone that they
Hmm.
won't get a job done. So if it's
Hmm.
told to me, I kind of take it down like, all right, cool, it's gonna get done. I'll never ask about it again and just assume it will get done. If the time has passed, the deadline is no longer there, we're surpassed it. It's just something I look back on like, huh, interesting. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Then you just kind of move on and like and see if this occurs again with the same individual. Um, but I don't know if I would feel away other than, I had a feeling he wasn't going to do it, but I didn't want my doubt to kind of manipulate the situation even more than it's already being manipulated, even though it's unbeknownst to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? To just kind of see where it goes. But I usually just let it play out. And if it doesn't work in my favor, mental note, see if it happens again. But
Hmm.
I don't think I've ever, I don't think I've ever pointed anyone out during the act or even after the act. I don't know if,
Hmm.
not that it's not important to me, but it doesn't stop my day to day. You know what I
Right.
mean? Being let down is not that it's part of life, but it's part of life. Things happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? You hope those close to you that kind of are close to your heartstrings aren't able to pull on those strings as often as they would need to if they gaslit you often. But if there's anybody outside that circle where a conversation can happen to get it back to where it was, I kind of just breeze over it.
I mean, so you would have to find a literal example of gaslighting that you think you do in a sense that may be harmful to someone, and then
Mm,
acknowledge it after that. You know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like that would be, what I'm saying? Like if there is, a boyfriend who keeps, what I mean, in contact with an ex girlfriend, and his current girl keeps telling him, "Yo, I would like if you stop." You know what I mean? Doing that, like it's making me feel away. And he keeps telling her it's nothing serious. Don't worry about it. It's just like he's manipulating the situation when really he can just acknowledge her feelings and stop. You know what I mean? Like, acknowledge the feelings and stop, or tell her the truth and say you can't let go of this person, and then let her make her own choice. But when you try and manipulate a situation to make it seem like it's not what it is, that is a form of gaslighting. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that in those situations, if you're not open to understanding that you are doing this in the moment, then that's when it can become situation critical. So that goes back to how would you feel if your girl was the one that stayed in contact with her ex, and you told her, yo, you need to stop contacting this ex, and she wouldn't stop. You would be
Mm,
pissed off. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say that's one of the first things. It goes back to, the oldest saying in the book, put yourself in their shoes. You know what I mean? That's
mm-hmm.
that's the number one thing you can do.
That's
And then you can be more specific with your thoughts, I think, too. um if there's a specific reason for why you're doing something, and you can communicate that, and this person has absorbed that communication, said they've recognized it, then that's your way of kind of saying, I've given you the details. I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm not saying you got nothing to worry about. I've told you. I'll use the same example that right now she is trying to hook me up with a job. That's the only reason I'm in contact with her. You know what I mean? I'm not recommending this, but maybe you go as far as show her the messages. That's a way of making her feel good, and now you can continue to be in contact if you really need the job. Right now, that can lead into a whole other issue. But I'm just saying, you revealed
so,
the
yeah, it's like,
details.
so you got the job.
You know what I mean? Like you asking her to get you a job. Like what type of shit is that? I know that's walking. Yeah, I know that's walking into a whole nother situation. But at least you revealed the details. She can't say you gaslighting no more. Now
Up
you
front.
just ask for a job. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it's, I'm up front and I'm broke, baby.
Yeah, yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Okay, all right, all right.
Those the best two I can honestly give. It's
Those are
not
good.
easy though, man.
Those are good
It's
ones.
not easy because I'm still working on doing both.
Hey man, acknowledge, address, resolve. Man. You know what I'm saying? That's all you can do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Acknowledge it, address it, resolve it. That's the
You
best you
gotta
can do.
save that, man.
That's
AAR.
whoa, whoa, whoa! But she got Mrs. Lee. She got the good mac and cheese. Let's not forget at least not in November.
You know what? We just got to get them shirts.
Hey man, hey August, beginning of August, man, new shit. I was saving it.
Yeah, we gotta do like who's Mike Jones, man? Who's Deborah? I'm telling you.
Have a fake number on the back and everything. Should not be a real number. Fuck it. Gaslight. Yeah, those are two awesome examples. Like diving into the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole if you do have a ex or whatever the case may be, everyone's moved on, right? But there's always a connection to some extent. You do what you can, you break those connections, but a connection happens. Are you still gaslighting?
I tell you, it's all about the communication.
I'm gonna go back to my step one, man. It's all about how you talk about it.
Yeah, it's all about the communication. So I hate, fellas.
He said, close this live.
Yeah, fellas.
He said if it's sensitive to your situation.
Fellas, y'all might want to log off right now.
You about to snitch, y'all. You about to snitch on the show.
Y'all might want to log off. But to be honest, man, in those situations, the best thing you can do is tell the truth. Mm-hmm. I mean, tell the truth. Because, and sometimes it's about being real with yourself, right? Mm-hmm. It's about being real with yourself. If there is that connection with this person, because the same thing goes for females if they have an ex-dude. Mm-hmm. If the connection is that strong where they are a friend, but they are not anything more, mm-hmm. then there should be some sort of interaction with your current person, right? I mean, that should have happened or be happening to some capacity. If that can't happen for whatever reason, and now your current girl has said that they don't want you in contact with this person at all, if you can look her dead in the eye and say, I'm not going to stop contacting this person because I feel like I have a good connection with them and that's my friend, and she don't proceed to swing on you after that. If you can pull that off
immediately,
you have officially, you're not gaslighting. You told her, you've clarified the relationship to an extent where I've drawn a line in the sand. I'm not going to give up this friendship, but I want to be in this current relationship with you. At that point, it's her choice to stay, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that response, ladies and gentlemen, is great, but it's truthful, it's real, it's honest, and you do whatever you want with that information, right? And I think a lot of us, we hear real lines. If you have one of those really testy relationships or very high level jobs, you probably hear the realest shit every day in conversations. And I respect those real lines. I really do. I respect it. I remember when I first joined a billing company, and they told me I was going to be doing one thing. I showed up there, they had me doing the mail. I was like, this is bullshit. I want to talk to the boss. I go into a room with the boss and this other lady, and the boss deadass looks me in the eye and says, you don't have to work here, but we do have this job for you right now. And if you do it, maybe somewhere along the lines, we can get you to where you want to be. But the choice is yours. Now, if you say that, you said that to an employee, right? If I would have took that to labor, I probably would have got that guy into a bunch of trouble, whole lot of trouble. Because labor don't like shit like that. Right?
Yeah, they hate you.
Yeah, their labor's whole job is to make sure that the company doesn't get sued. They're not on your side. They are here for the company's books, right? But because that line was honest to God, he didn't gaslight me. He could have manipulated me and said, nah, man, this is one of the best jobs. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get you where you need to go. Just stay here, right? He told me the truth. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate someone who can tell me the truth straight up. No stuttering, no whatever. Like, yo, this is what it's going to be. And if it can't be that, I understand. But you can go somewhere else.
Now you know. Yeah, now you know. Now, it's funny. When both those lines you said have the same exact outcome, would you rather it have been fed to you, kind of medicine through the candy kind of way, or straight up?
Straight up, no chaser.
But as a boss, you learn to give medicine
Yes.
candy. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that a weird thing? Like, you know what I'm saying? You would like to receive information as straight as possible. But you as a supervisor, as a boss in management, delegating to others, like you can't be like, yo, you know what I mean? If your head janitor telling other janitors like, yo, man, the bathroom on the third floor, it's not what you want it to be, man.
Yeah.
But we need it done. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could say that. I was like, yo, you could give him the graphic part of what's really down there when you go. You know what I'm saying? It was like, everybody had diarrhea. All the stalls are destroyed. You could give all that, and he has to go down there anyway, but I feed the first version of the story. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, man, heard it wasn't good. Just want to give you a heads up.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to give you all these details again. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Telling you, man.
You can talk about it later and curse me out after it's all clean, but yeah, man, it's not looking good. But I get down there quick about you.
Yeah.
Ah, man, it's life, man. It's gaslighting, man. You need it. You don't want to abuse it, but you definitely need it at times in life.
Mm-hmm. And then I think another hard part about the truth is when it gets manipulated in big forums where everybody looks to you to be the savior, right? So I'll give you a perfect example. You know what I'm saying? You're really good in your field, right? Your man he's in let's say you have a level that is right before becoming what you do, right? An official architect. And you guys have a friend group that you're really tight with. And every time you're within that friend group, he's just like, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do my thing. I know I'm going to get to Kenny's level, man. I'm working. And you're there and you're like, yeah, I know this nigga ain't lying. Like when he comes to work late all the time. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing half the time. I tried to give him something to do one time. He fucked that up. What is he talking about? But you kind of let it go because your friend group is like, we're all about support and like, nah, you got to help your man out, help him get to the next level. Those are the toughest situations to be in because I think one of the realest things, but the toughest things to do is to tell your friend that, yo, you ain't got it. Like, I know you think that this is something that you can really do, but it's not because it requires something that I have not seen from you. Yeah, you know what I mean?
A lick of spark of that from you.
Right. You know what I mean? But the friend group doesn't know the professional version of this person, right? They only know the friend, the cool dude that always will pick you up. He always brings the big bottle of Hennessy to the barbecues. You know what I'm saying? His mom.
I love that guy.
Yeah. Everybody like he is an awesome individual and friend, but terrible worker. And ladies, y'all know a girl just like this too. You know what I mean?
Might be a best friend.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? How would you deliver this news to this person?
It's funny, like that same, I guess, basis of a conversation in a co-worker group chat. I'll keep it fake positive. Yeah, man, just keep doing what you're doing, bro. You'll get there. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not my job. It's not my job to make sure you prosper unless you ask a question of mine. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't. Like, I mean, if those are your goals and your intentions, stay on the path, and at some point you'll realize what you're doing isn't what you need to do to get there. But you have a mindset that, hey, this is my goal. I know what my finish line is. I know where it is. I'm gonna just keep going for it. If you notice your feet are in fucking mud, you're not moving. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, but I see it. Yeah. I see it. It's right there. I can almost. It's right, but your feet is not moving up. You gotta change your shoes. You gotta move the traction. You gotta find another way to move on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the co-working side of it, I'll let it ride. Like, yo, man, if that's what you want to do, we both get paid every 2. Hey, man, do what you gotta do, bro. But the real friends, the friends, like grew up with from the grain type niggas. He said, yo, son, I'm thinking about dropping this mixtape. Yeah, my nigga. Let me tell you something. So all jokes aside, bro, we all got 16s in the tuck. We all do. It's a lot more than that, my man. It's a lot more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot more than that. No disrespect. Like, I ain't hear a single song from you. I know. I'm jumping. I might be jumping at the gate. And honestly, If I'm wrong, let this be the stepping stool of motivation you need to get you where you gotta go. Because right now, you ain't it, my nigga. He's like, yo, he said Steve Jobs ain't you know what I mean? He ain't blow. He's like 35. I said, nigga, he's a genius though. You just trying to put some songs together, hope everybody buy it at the same time. My guy. Those kind of, you know what I mean? Those kind of conversations you have with your loved ones, your friends, your close group, your close peer group. The corporate version, you kind of just keep pushing it and let their goal come your way. But I wouldn't want to put a personal friend of mine like, oh yeah, bro, that 16's hard. Keep doing what you're doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Knowing this nigga a mumble rapper. Like, I'm not gonna do that to nobody. You know what I mean? Some people you can do that with, but some people you really shouldn't.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It took me a while to realize like who was ready for my advice. And that's very important. And when I say that, I don't mean to brag. What I'm saying is I'm not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? That person is going to succeed. It's just that my type of leadership probably isn't for them. You know what I'm saying? They need somebody who's going to approach them in a different way. And I'm not going to put any characteristics around it. It's just going to be different from the way that I do it because it's just like that. And, just going through trials and tribulations with people, you learn literally on the job. And it's not even your job, right? You're working with someone and you're just thinking that you're giving them the best advice when really you're driving a wedge between you and this person. And in all actuality, at that point, what it taught me was just focus on yourself. And to what you said, if that person really is going to get there, they're going to get there at their speed and when they're ready. And
Absolutely.
it's really really tough. But yeah, Mrs. Lee know me better than anybody, right? I live by the tough love code. You know what I'm saying? Like I live by the tough love code because it's a dog eat dog world as you start to move up. And if you're not ready for what they want, especially in a certain field, then it's just they're gonna eat you alive. And they're not gonna have time to hold your hand, they're not gonna have time to train you. And then that's the reputation that you leave in. Your reputation goes into rooms that you don't even make it into sometimes. So the only thing I could tell for anybody that's moving up the ladder in their field, just be ready. Just be ready, be humble. You know what I mean? Because it's a
That's it.
constant grind, man. Yeah, it's a
Don't
constant
get me
grind.
wrong, like the pros are amazing.
Yeah, phenomenal.
The backside of that, the cons. You know, what I mean, the other side of the pillow, when you find out it's not even cold over there, it's like,
Nah, bro.
oh, I flip to the hot side and say, it's
The,
a
the
double side of the
material
pillow.
is rough.
Yeah, it's like, what is this, cornbread? I don't want that on my pillow, bro. But yeah, it be like that. It be like that, man. It
Yeah,
definitely be
man.
like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But nah, you said that perfectly, brother. I had to learn that. I really did.
Me too.
Yeah, man.
It's,
Struggle.
not my, it's like it's funny when you're at work, it's still not your job. It's not your job. But when you're outside of work and you're not getting paid for what you do, you feel like you're responsible for those people. Not responsible, but I'm not here because I'm getting paid. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
this is a genuine kind of connection we have. So I think like I have a genuine conversation with you where the 16s is trash versus a coworker saying like, "Yo, these tweak this right here, and you got it." Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, and to that point, and I think we talked about this before. That's where are we? I believe we need to ask people when they're looking for advice versus when they're looking to vent. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And sometimes I miss the mark and don't ask, but when I do, it turns out okay. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
Everybody leaves the room all cool and mutual. You know what I'm saying?
be good.
Um, but there's those times where you just go blah 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 blah. You should do this and blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden you just see their whole face turn and say, "What do
Like,
you
pew,
mean?
pew, pew.
What are you trying to say?" And it's like, "Oh shit,
Oh shit!
I
I
don't
said,
lost them."
when we came to that fork, you was going right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely left. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it happens. I
hell
apologize.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Hell
I took that note from you a while back when he says that I don't give advice willingly, so to speak. Like, but if it's asked of, more than willing to share. You know what I'm saying? I truly kind of just hold my chest with that because I'm very quick to respond. So I just kind of, you know what I mean? I just kind of wait. Let somebody finish talking. Try to wait a second. Count in my head 1 Mississippi 2. And then I start talking just to not over talk people or make you feel like belittled or whatever the case may be. But then people be like, yo, why you holding your chest? You having a heart attack? It's like, no. I'm trying to let you talk. I'm stopping myself from speaking so you can talk. Yeah. So please hurry the fuck up because I got a lot to say.
Man. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, man, gaslighting on a Wednesday, bro. Thank you so much for the clarity. For those that helped in the comments, much appreciated. But yeah, definitely. I gotta seek help, but I'm probably not. But gaslighting intentionally is absolutely not fair to whomever you're doing it to. If it's by humble brag or a plan falling through, if you can cut to that, address it, resolve it. Hopefully there's no issues. You know what I mean? But intentionally is not. So try not to do that.
Yeah, man. And for those who are experiencing gaslighting, man, do not let anyone tell you how to feel about something they have never experienced before. That's number one, right? Don't exhaust yourself arguing with them neither. There's some people who just feel the way they feel, and there isn't a win, right? There isn't a win, and there's something that I learned from watching that Put a Ring on the Show with Dr. Nicole, where there is no winning in an argument with someone that you really care about because you both lose at the end of the day, right? So if you could just walk away from the situation, give each other the grace to really see what's the goal, right? I think my wife is tired of hearing me say that shit every day. I'm like, what's the goal here? Because I'll see that we're about to get into that argument zone, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's the goal here?
So how many points do we need to win this game early?
Yeah.
Let me know.
Yeah, because I know I'm not going to win regardless. Even if I think I win, I don't win. You know what I'm saying? I haven't won in this house since we came in this house. But anyway.
And that's, hey, those are respectable numbers.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, but it was 31 days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's, forgive me, listen, young fellas, that is a winning percentage. When you don't win an argument with your woman, that is a winning percentage. Trust me.
Man, trust.
And especially, don't spend way too much time trying to prove anything to anybody, because 9 times out of 10 they don't even give a shit. And when you think you've proved something to them, they didn't even know they was in a competition. Oh, before we get off, brother, I put something up the other day, and I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it, right? Have you ever found out that you were in competition with someone when you all were supposed to be on the same damn team?
Oh yeah, back in high school, trying to be a starting quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude was a receiver. You know what I'm saying? Then one day he just showed up. Nigga showed up one day and said, "Yeah, let me get a snap." He was like, "Yeah, let me get a throw." He threw the shit like 48 yards. I was like, "Yo, man, your job is over there when the motherfucker." I mean, coach seeing all of these long bombs from you all accurate right now. You are good at running routes. Let's stick you to the routes. You know what I'm saying? But time went on. He's like, nah, I think I can really do this. By the grace of God, I beat him out in training camp. But like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I didn't know he was that good until he just fucked around. And he's like, oh shit, he got a skill. Now I gotta up my skill that I thought I had a little bit more just to. But I found that out early, like as far as in the middle of competition, so to speak. You know what I mean? So it was a healthy version of it. Like it's like rat beef that's just on wax. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like that. But I found out in high school.
Yeah, what I'm talking about isn't even really competition oriented. It's literally like, so say for instance, you both are trying to aim for the same position at work, right? Now there's multiple positions, right, at that level. Let's just say supervisor, right? And you're both going for this position. Now, granted, you're on the same team. You're supposed to be like rooting for each other to get to that title, right? There's plenty of them. And you're thinking that the whole time this person has like your best like thoughts in mind, like they really want to see you win, but really subliminally, there's a competition going on.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there's a competition going on to not only get there, but get there and be better and do better than you did. And this competition even drives into friendships. Like we talked about it before with comparative success. Like you will literally have someone who you were close with for so long that all of a sudden you can't get them on the line for nothing.
Hmm.
You texting, you can't get a hold of them. And then out of nowhere, finally y'all make contact. And it's like, yo, like where you been at? And literally what has happened is because of who you are, because of where you're probably at in life, they they feel intimidated.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And you're like, well,
Hmm.
we peoples. Like we've been working together for this long, right? Or we've been friends for this long. When did this become a competition about who's at this level? You know what I mean? When we used to be like two peas in a pod. We both said that, no matter what we did, we were gonna stay close, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And you see it happen now more than ever because it's just one person takes a totally different track, the other person takes this one, and if they can't be as successful as as notarized, it puts a wedge in the friendship.
Hmm. Yeah, that's that toxic competition.
Mhm.
But on the sports side, it was healthy because we both were up front. We both knew our goals. We both knew the one position. But on your side, you're more so addressing like the fallout as far as what the fuck went wrong when we was all, huggy, huggy, chilling, happy hour. Everything was dope. You know what I'm saying? I got the position you didn't. You don't take lunch at 1:30 no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's one of those, it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's when shit gets weird. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I don't know how you would address that as far as especially if you won. Like I don't know how you would I don't know how you would address that. But you know what I mean? Not that
yeah,
uh, they got to put them in the peasant category in your head, but it's just like if we can't agree on my success, it's hard to move from there. Like you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I'm gonna stand on whatever I earned because I earned it.
yeah.
You know, so if you don't respect that or you felt my path wasn't direct because you were a speed bump in my path, unfortunately,
Hmm.
and you don't want to learn from what I might be able to teach you now. Obviously, if I'm better at something than you are,
Hmm.
that's how this relationship is okay to disintegrate. Like it's okay to move on. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
like I said, it's tough to walk away. It's like yo, remember that pie we split like a month ago? Shit, it was like pepperoni and pineapple, crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to move on from some things. Like you know what I mean? It's like it was cool while it lasted, but everybody's not there from the first stop to the last stop on the two train. You know what I'm saying? Some people getting off early. Some people just want to go in 42nd. It's like, oh no, I'm going all the way. I'm going uptown. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's be like that, man. But you gotta move on. You can't. It sucks to realize it when you're in that moment, like that initial. Damn, I thought we had something. It
Yeah.
seems like we didn't. But just got to move on from it. Kind of what I was saying earlier, just with the gaslighting thing. When it does happen to you, you don't want to doubt anyone. You hope it wouldn't get there. You know what I mean? But for y'all, there, it's like, that's a no. Kind of got to move on from it.
Mhm.
Have you had to deal with this personally, as far as like the fallout after your personal success, or vice versa?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um,
And then what amplified it even more was watching that video, Broski, because I mean it ain't definitely ain't to that extent of the video,
mm-hmm.
but it brought back some interesting
It's a layer of it,
situations. Yeah, it brought back some interesting situations where it was just like sometimes you really never know. Like this person could literally be right next to you, or suddenly disappeared from your life for no random reason, and then later on you either find out through them or through somebody else that this person really was just like they were your competitor the entire time.
yeah. Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
that's weird. And thinking you knowing somebody until tomorrow comes, it's like they did what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like, I would never think that for real. Then, wow. All right, I gotta go to work. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's that's how it be though, unfortunately. But yeah, that realization always sucks though. Always sucks.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then I'll never forget one of these sayings that I saw where it was never a true friendship if it ended over something that was out of my control. You know what I mean? Like if I can literally just be the same person I've been with you this entire time, that I was like your homie, your rider, your best friend, and then literally nothing changes with my behavior, but something in you changes and how you see me and how you envision what I'm doing, and all of a sudden you can't fuck with me no more. Then what? Yeah, like we didn't have nothing that strong. Yeah.
It was never genuine. Like,
That's right.
Which is weird because there was no place. You thought in the very beginning there's no room for it not to be.
Right.
It was on the same playing field, same shoes, same court, same whatever. And then things develop, things grow, my knowledge was a little bit different from your knowledge, and we stayed on the same path, but just had different trains. So it's weird, but it was never genuine. And then to realize that it might not have been genuine the whole time.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother psychological warfare that you're playing with yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because now you start like rethinking everything. Every experience you ever had with said person. You know what I'm saying? It's like, did they really mean to saw the yeah, you don't want that. That's really
you start thinking about this. And you start thinking about the shit you done told them and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's
why you can't tell your business, man. You can't talk to people all the time. Like, it's okay with staying on the surface. It's okay up here. It's all right. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of layers to this thing called me, and I don't want to get you involved in all that. You know what I'm saying? It's like just keep me in the onion bag. We're just gonna talk about the bag I'm in.
No, yeah, absolutely, man.
Well, yeah, man. You see him on the street, man. Spit on him. Nah. But oh man. But what else you got for tonight, broski?
Not much, man. If y'all haven't checked this show out called Fake Profile yet, I don't know if I brought it up last week, but this show is crazy. It's in Spanish. It's like a novella, but it's crazy. It's called Fake Profile on Netflix. Dope, fucking dope.
I don't know what's the chime in. I know you said it was in Spanish, but having kids, I watch a lot of my shows on subtitles anyway. So this works out.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to think what else we caught. We got a couple shows. I'll remember them next show. But yeah, man. Oh yeah. We got new episodes, people. Go check them out, man. We got episode 56. Yeah. Episode 57. We was talking about the incident with Carlisha Hood and her son. If y'all don't remember what that was about, she was in a fast food restaurant, I believe, and a gentleman tried to attack her. And listen, you know what I'm saying? She called for her son. Her son don't handle what you gotta handle, and that's it. Keith said, "I gotta read." It's a good show, bro. Trust me, it's a novella, man. Like you fine. But yeah, episode 57, we talked about Carlisha Hood, and then we dropped some cool FCP, but we're calling FCP quickies. You know what I mean? But they ain't the kind of quickie you thinking about.
Quickies can be long, people. Stop hitting on this one. Just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there.
Is I Am Virgo a good show? I've been hesitating to watch it because it looks like a version of a Big or something like that, but I'll probably check it out.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I think it's on Amazon Prime. All right, I'll check it out. I gotta look for some new shows. I've been watching Suits. I am so mad I'm so late to watching this show. That show is really good. Suits is a good show.
Oh wait, that's the older lawyer, younger lawyer without the credentials, but he's super good, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's an old TBS TNT show. You got a couple seasons in. They got a couple seasons in, huh?
Yeah, man. I think we just got to episode season 3.
Okay.
So we working our way through it, man. But yeah, it's man good.
Alright. Always got something to watch from the FCP team. Did I watch anything? Oh, I got swindled into buying a movie or renting a movie. It's probably too late now. I can't even tell Jen to watch it. It's like a 24-hour, some Ben Affleck movie he did called Hypnotic. I think it was on Amazon Prime. They went to Amazon Prime. Not a bad movie. It's funny. Ben Affleck movies I'm real fishy with, but it wasn't a terrible movie. It's like Inception meets a thriller of Where's My Kid kind of situation, but it was a good 90 minutes. It was solid. I'll say that. Had a couple people from other shows that I like to see as well, but it was cool to see them do other things.
Yeah, and I'm still waiting for Little Mermaid to come on Amazon, man. Like, I don't think I'm gonna make it to the theaters.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make that one. I might still make Spider-Man, but I might not make the Mermaid.
You got to for Spider-Man. Spider-Man was worth it, man.
I gotta squeeze it into one of these weekends.
Yeah.
All right then, bro. If it ain't, I was gonna say.
No.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah, man. It's Wednesday, bro. As always, hump day. Feels like a Monday, but if it does feel like a Monday, hopefully by the time Wednesday comes around for fake, it's a good Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a lot better for us. But as always, man, always a pleasure to talk to you. But till next time, my man. So I don't love movies. What? I don't even know Tanya no more. I thought we had a thing.
Denzel would never.
Never. About to have Tanya on Pelican Bay out here.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta get Tanya some good movie recommendations, man. You missing out.
Word. All right, broski.
Peace out. Thank y'all for joining.